Hey guys, Sean here again. I got a 2005 VTX 1300. I'm here with my wife, Rachel, who's trying to zip up her jacket. Oh, I mean, it's a hot day. It's like 85 degrees, but it's not that bad when you're riding. It's always smart to, wear the proper gear. Helmet, jacket, make your wife wear some boots. Make her wear jeans. Don't be that guy who's riding with your girl in the back wearing like a thong. That's just a recipe for disaster. The bike we're riding is a 05 VTX 1300. This bike is for sale. It does have 4,800 miles on it. I'm fixing that lens. It was just kind of dirty. I took it off. I'm gonna get that all cleaned up. Bike is super nice. Never been down. It's got big old fat tires on it. It's got the saddlebags. It also has a windshield for it, but I took it off. I'm not a big fan of windshields. This is the R model of the VTX. You see it's got the big swooping fenders. The bike feels great. Let's hop on. Let's take it for a spin. Let's see how it goes. We are in gorgeous Mannheim, Penn Township. We're outside of Mannheim, but I think it's a Penn Township. I don't know what township we're in. But we're probably going to swing on over to Mount Gretna. There's a lot of the good tree line roads in there, and let's see how this bike really runs. Making sure the microphone's all hooked up. I really like this bike. It's a big feeling bike. It looks big, but it's not very heavy. It's got enough power to. It's really nice out today. It's got plenty of power. It's never lacking in power. I mean, it's no sport bike or nothing like that, but for what it's meant to do, it does a great job at it. Now I got the wife on the back, and I'm used to taking these 20-mile-an-hour corners, even on a cruiser bike, going 30. But I try to take it a little slower because I've been dragging these floorboards all day long, and that's not something I really feel. I don't really like dragging floorboards. I'm okay with dragging pegs. Dragging knees fine, but when you start dragging floorboards, man, that's not really my thing. We got a lot of corn in Pennsylvania. You'll probably see that in a lot of my videos. So this bike, it's got 4,800 miles on it. It's a nice like candy apple red. It's got a lot of metal flake in it. It just runs really good. Give it a little bit of throttle. It's a great 2-up bike. It's got a nice little padded sissy bar for the lady fella who's riding behind you. Now, something I didn't really talk too much about in my last video is safety. I really can't. There's another. It looked like a VTX. No, it's a V-Star. I really can't stress safety enough. I mean, I've seen. There used to be a website out there. I'm not sure if it's still there. It was called ridetodie.com, and these guys used to put these videos of people who were, riding their bikes and they wrecked. And it was just gruesome stuff, but it was really sobering stuff. It made you kind of second guess, being dumb on the road, not wearing the proper gear, not wearing helmets, going too fast. If you look at the, I did a paper about this when I was in college, and I found that, interestingly enough, like, it was some crazy number, like 98% of all motorcycle accidents or motorcycle fatalities are because of two things, and I'm sure everyone can guess it. Those two things are alcohol and excessive speeding. If you eliminate those two things in your riding, then riding motorcycles is actually pretty safe. Now add a couple more things to that. Add a safety course. Take a safety course, learn what you're doing, and then add some gear. riding motorcycles really safe. I mean, it's safe enough that I put my wife on the back, but it's always good to wear gear. I see a lot of these guys and they got their sport bikes, and you know, these sport bikes are capable of doing 150 miles an hour no problem on the street, and quick. You know, I've heard people say, oh, there's no place to go that fast. Anywhere is a place to go that fast. I'm not saying you should, I'm saying it can do it. You know, these bikes are incredibly fast, but the street's not the place to do it, guys. You got to take that stuff to the track. I know a lot of guys who do track days, and once they started doing track days, they stopped riding on the street just altogether, just because it's like, hey, well, you know, what's the point? They get it all out of their system on the track, you know, and it's all perfect track conditions too. It's really hard to beat it. Something I was riding another bike. I'm not gonna say what it was, but I was riding another bike and it just didn't feel. I hopped on it and the throttle response was a little too snappy. It was another cruiser bike, and it just, everything about it did not feel like this bike does. This bike, I hop on it and you know, the clutch grabs right at the right spot, the throttle, you know, kicks in right spot, it's smooth, it just feels really responsive, like all over. I feel like this bike is just an extension of my body, you know what I mean? And I feel like that's something that Honda, that's a Honda CBR 600, probably like 05, 06 maybe. That's something that Honda's always been really good at. You know, I can hop on most Hondas and just, you know, instantly the bike feels like I've been riding it for years. I just feel very, very comfortable at riding it. The VTX has been out for a long time. They have two models of the VTX. The VTX is a step up from the Shadow. Shadow's more like, you know, mid to, yeah, it's more mid-range. The VTX is, it comes in the 1300 and the 1800. I've ridden them both good bikes. 1800 is not really that much bigger than this one. Look at this gorgeous not countryside, hill country, I don't know what you'd call this, valley land, I don't know, but man, I love this stuff, and my wife is loving this too. If you guys ever get a chance, we got some pretty decent riding in Pennsylvania, a lot of good stuff like this. This reminds me of when I was living in Georgia. You know, I ride sport bikes a lot, but the cool thing about something like this, I'm probably not going to die on a cruiser bike like this, unless it's just 100% not my fault. You know, some guy just runs into me out of nowhere. And I feel I'm having a lot of fun. I'm going 55, I'm going the speed limit-ish, and I'm having a really good time. When you're on a sport bike, it's like, it only feels comfortable unless you're doing like 180 miles an hour. I still love riding sport bike, but there's definitely a place for this, and I'm probably not going to be putting my wife on the back of my sport bike anytime ever again. Not when I can ride something like this. I mean, she's so much more comfortable back there. She's got a little backrest and stuff, you know. Sport bikes were not made to have people in the back. I don't care if they have a seat back there. I don't care if they have pegs. It was an afterthought. It's like, hey, let's throw a seat. You know, the suspension's not tuned for it either. Nothing about a sport bike was meant to have a person on the back. Man, this is gorgeous. This kind of reminds me of what is it? The Dragon Tail. Not it doesn't have as many turns or anything like that. I'm just talking about the scenery, the looks. I mean, it's just so nice. We're hitting junction 117. Guys, I'm really enjoying this bike. I've probably put about 100 miles on it since I got it. I'm waiting for the title to come in. This was a trade-in at a Harley Davidson dealership. I'm gonna let these guys walk past me. This was a trade-in at a Harley Davidson dealership, and Really, really clean bike. Thank you, my friend. A lot of riders like to come around here. It's just a good, nice spot. You see them throwing out the hand just to say, hey riders, hey other people. Looks like they're doing an outdoor art show. No, it's not. That's not today. This is a really big tourist attraction. They got the best ice cream here. Excuse me. Alright guys, well, I'm going to wrap up my this episode. This is episode number 2. Like I said, I'm loving this bike. I'm enjoying it. I'm glad the title hasn't come in yet, because I get to put some miles on it and have a little bit of fun. Alright guys, stay tuned for the next episode. We'll talk about some more fun stuff. Alright, thanks guys.